So, first of all, I'm going to want to be able to prove that I was here. So, there we go. All right, now I can get paid. So, the WISE project. So, this is not, we've talked a bit about the municipal water supplies. This is other water. This is ag water. This is in-stream water. Two of the largest communities, though, here in Southern Oregon. Two of the largest, both socially as well as economically. A little stat that I learned a couple years ago, the Rogue River itself generates about $250 million a year in recreation activities, whether it's rafting, guiding, and so forth, fishing. But the WISE project is looking at, as it says, water for irrigation as well as streams, as well as trying to improve the economy here in Southern Oregon. I am trying to take an hour-and-a-half presentation down into 10 minutes, and she's not going to let me go beyond that, so I'll talk quickly. We are trying to make some improvements, both, like I said, in the local streams. We're talking Little Butte, Bear Creek specifically. It's a pretty large area. Not everyone in the room probably knows how the water works, but we do have water for irrigation here in this area. In Little Butte, it goes from Little Butte Creek over to the Klamath, Howard, Prairie, comes back down over here. We bring a little bit of Applegate water over here as well. In total, there's about 35,000 acres of land that is irrigated by the 3 irrigation districts that are participating in the project. And for all the reasons that have been discussed that you all know about, reduced snowpack, changes in precipitation, we're looking at how to better manage the water supply for irrigating those 35,000 acres, as well as trying to improve the streams that we're working with. Currently, a lot of the streams are used as part of that infrastructure, and we want to change that. So, conserve water, simple idea. It's been around for, I don't know, a couple thousand years. The Romans used it, we might be able to, and that's just put the water in pipes. Save a lot of water that way. Most of it through leakage, not through evaporation. Most of it is through leakage. Reservoir storage capacity. We looked at, with the hydrology, the reservoirs that we can look at, Agate, Howard, Hyatt, Emigrant, as well as Foreign Fish. And the only one that really has the hydrology to add more water to is Agate. Unfortunately, it's also the smallest. It's about 4,500 acre feet. We can add about 4,000 acre feet of capacity and still fill that. We're also looking at pumped water. Wastewater reclamation facility generates about 12,000 acre feet of water a year during the irrigation season, so April through October. Just most of you are from Ashland. Emigrant Reservoir, when full, is about 39,000 acre feet, just as a way for you to picture what these numbers look like. And then Lost Creek Reservoir via Rogue River. This is more exciting, but for details I don't have the time to go into. The benefits, we can leave water in those streams to improve the streams. We can still collect the water, bring it back up into the system. We can't do it very well now with the open infrastructure that we have, but there we go. Because of what we can do with the infrastructure, which is pipe everything. There's no open canals left in the system. And we're talking about a lot of canals, about 600 miles total, 250 of the larger canals, something that that I cannot step over even with a running jump, down to the smaller laterals, which are the ones that you can step over. There's about 600 miles. It's a lot of pipe. And pipe, unfortunately, is expensive, especially if, which we want to do, you want to use pressure-rated pipe. We have a lot of elevation that we can take advantage of, which has a lot of benefits. We have about 1,100 feet from Emigrant down to the bottom of the system down here in Medford. Sorry, this is just showing a couple other potential layouts. Without going into the details, we are looking at a lot of the different alignments for the pipe. A lot of benefits for doing this to agriculture. Gravity pressure is really interesting. It takes a lot of money. If you want to be more efficient on farm, if you want to run sprinklers, drip, however you want to do it, that takes pressure. Pressure takes electricity or gravity, one of the two. And it's very difficult to do throughout the system if it's not a closed pipe system. And so there has been piping put in place to take advantage of some of that. This would hopefully take advantage of all of it. And that gravity pressure we don't provide to the farm then actually gets reclaimed through power generation to help pay for the cost for O&M at a pump station to use the water that we let go through the system. Lots and lots of benefits. The reduced shortages and the other numbers, I just want to show, there's three numbers. The way to read that, the first number is a dry year. So we've broken it up into dry, average, and wet years. This is a dry year. And so just by piping everything in a dry year like this, we can conserve about 23,000 acre-feet of water. That's almost enough to fill Emigrant. It's a lot of water. That does not include the shortages. Shortages are how much water the farm needs to get into the root that they're not getting. So all the farms around here as a whole operate on a shortage. We said, okay, in the model, let's throw some of that water towards the shortage. It's harder to do in a dry year. There's just not enough water to move around. And at the bottom, I do want to point again to the hydropower generation. Again, we're talking moving a lot of water, about 120,000 acre-feet of water. And we're talking about moving a lot of it through significant elevation. There's also in-stream benefits. As I said right now, a lot of the tributaries in Bear Creek are used as part of the infrastructure. The idea is none of that would then be the case. All the infrastructure would be through pipe system. So there's a lot of benefits to the streams. And the flow, these are in addition to those other numbers we showed. That's how much in acre-feet, again, would be left in those streams. So again, in a year like this, you would still see additional flows. You would also see more natural stream hydrographs, more water at the bottom of the system, less at the top, more in spring, less in the end of the summer. So there's a lot of benefits to the streams as well. It takes a long time to do something of this size. It's not just something you go out, and you can fix like a broken pipe at home. There's a lot of studies have to be done. So we've been working on it for a while here. We completed a pre-feasibility. Basically, that's a document about this thick, my Bible, that says if you pipe it, you'll conserve water. So it was money well spent, although we kind of knew that at the end. We've done the cost-benefit analysis as well, and that is, if you pipe it, will it pay for itself in the long run? The answer is yes. Part of that is because ag is such a big part of this community when you start looking at the economy. If you look at the crop gate value, how much the crops sell for right immediately off the farm, we're talking $70 million a year, somewhere in that range. When you start expanding it to the additional economies, whether it's processing, transportation, so forth, you get up into a few hundred million annually in Jackson County as a whole. So it's a big part of the economy. So we did the cost-benefit analysis, and there's so many benefits to this, whether it's you're producing more crops, you're switching to more profitable crops. It pays for itself over the lifetime of the project. We used a 50-year lifetime, although with the pipes, and we're hoping that's longer. Obviously, the districts have been here for a while. We started the feasibility study in the EIS. Have to do it. It's not an EIS. We're going through NEPA. It's more of an EA. And this is where we're getting at, well, what can we do with the alignments? And it turns out it's really difficult. So for example, if anyone lives in Talent or Phoenix, you rely on those canals not just for your irrigation delivery, you also rely on it to keep the water out of your basements and your living rooms during the winter. It's become part of the stormwater management system. So we can't just put in a pipe, cover up the canals. You have to address that issue as well. But we've been working on that. We've got solutions for that. It seems pretty straightforward in the end. Construction, pilot project, there's a little bit of work that's being done by TID and Bureau of Reclamation up in Ashland. That work is mostly done. It's looking good, and it's very complicated. which made us a little bit nervous about the water rights, but in the end, the solutions are there. And then complete the feasibility work, that's going to take till 2017. It's a big project, takes a long time to go through all that process. And in the meantime, we're working on the development of the funding and financing package. I haven't been looking at you. Do I have any time? Oh, I have to stop. That's the end. So there's a lot of water. I totaled them up there at the end. It's important because ag and in-stream communities are a vital part of this. So we really need to work on this type of stuff. So thank you very much.